Coming in for a hard landing, Tails. You got me covered?
Roger.
Who's Roger? He's talking to me.
Hey there, everybody. How you all doing? Hope you're doing fine this morning or evening or whenever you're watching this. Back with another casual review, although we're doing something a little different. It's not on a video game, it's on a figure set, a Lego set, as a matter of fact. I'm going to now get the name up because this is a mouthful. It is the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog Tails Workshop and Tornado Plane set. I added that set. I don't know. It's just called Tails Workshop and Tornado Plane on their site. I don't know why they've named it like that, but they have, so yeah, whatever, sure. Now, this is a casual review for a reason. I will get more into that once we get through talking about the set itself, but yeah, like, if you're thinking like, oh, the video game ones are going away, they're not. And just for clarification, the edited reviews I've been making the past few weeks, those aren't going away either, but I will get more into that later on, or not later on, at the end. I will get into that at the end of the video, but for now, let's talk about this set here. This set's been available for about a year-ish now. I think it showed up around tail end of 2023, and I picked it up around New Year's time just because it was on sale, and I finally just got around to building it this past week. So I wanted to take some time just to talk about it, if you don't mind. So hey, just sit around, relax, you know, have me on in the background while you doom scroll Twitter, as I know we all have a habit to do when we really shouldn't. We should probably just get off that site, if I'm being completely honest, but I digress. Now, as far as this set itself is concerned, let's talk build first. I am a pretty slow builder. I take a lot longer to do things when it comes to building sets or model kits and the like than the average person might, or the average builder, someone who spends a lot of time doing this, so this is a regular hobby for them. Like the new spec Goku that I did a review on like 2 weeks ago, I think, at the time of recording. That build took me the better part of like an entire like afternoon, evening, because I started that at like 12-ish, and then I didn't finish it until around like 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, I am very, very slow when it comes to these things, which I think is important to bring up when I say that this only took me like 2 hours. Like this took no time at all to do. Instructions were oh, I bumped the mic there, sorry. Instructions were super clear. Everything was neatly labeled out. You had multiple baggies to separate stuff so you didn't get confused. Really fun, really simple build, which is something you would kind of expect. I mean, this is a kids build. It's not for adult collectors specifically. It's for kids to enjoy and have fun with. It's for people who are, you know, it's for 6-year-olds and older. So obviously they weren't going to go crazy with it, but I do think it's worth mentioning it is a comfortable, fun build. Now, obviously, excuse me, actually, let me take a sip of water here. I'm getting a sore throat. This is, as you might guess, this has taken me multiple recordings to get done. Anyway, let's talk. I want to talk about the finished sets, but before we get to that, I want to talk about minifigures. So, and for that matter, the brick-built characters. So you get 3 of them in this set in total. Sonic, Tails, obviously, and then you also get a brick-built Buzz Bomber. Now, as far as Sonic and Tails are concerned, I don't really have much in terms of complaints. Like, the original Sonic minifigure from LEGO Dimensions, I think it was, has been pretty much unchanged in terms of general sculpt and printing. It's pretty much the exact same. Obviously, there is a difference in eye shape, because I believe the pupils are a little larger now, and obviously this one has a winking smile. You know, it's got a little wink and a smirk. But that's it. Like it's if you've seen a Sonic minifigure before, this one's not going to do much besides having a different expression. But that's not a bad thing because the Sonic minifigure is great. It is a great little representation of Sonic in Lego form, and I will say the same thing for Tails. He is also great. Interesting thing, I actually thought that Tails would be a sort of hard plastic, but they're a more softer rubber material. Doesn't really change anything. I think it would have worked one way or the other regardless. But I think it's interesting that excuse me. I think it's interesting that they went that route. Maybe it's just a little easier. I don't know. One thing I'm a little bit more vexed about, I guess you could say, is that Tails is he's a short legs minifigure, which means he has no movement in his legs, and I get it, especially in regards to height. Like obviously Tails is much shorter than Sonic, but I guess more or less I'm a little bit more annoyed that, you know, Lego's been going on for so long, so long, and these short leg minifigures still don't have any movement. Obviously there's a reason for it. I don't think Lego would do this for... I don't think Lego would not do it just because it's just for no reason. So obviously there is a reason why they've done it. I just don't know it, and I think it's just a little sad that even all these years later, these minifigures can't simulate walking in any way. So sad. Oh. I'm mostly speaking in jest. It's not a big deal. You know, for the most part, these minifigures, I have zero complaints. Zero complaints. And I say for the most part because zero complaints is technically a lie. There is one complaint I have, and that's with the printing on the chest. For some reason, Tails' chest fur and Sonic's stomach circle are super faded. I don't know why that is. It was the same thing on the Lego Icon Sonic as well, which I do have. The chest symbol, the chest printing was just really faded for some reason. And on this Sonic, it appears to have been done, there's a little bit of extra printing, like a stray little bit that just missed the rest of it on the side. Not super noticeable from afar, but when you're actually holding it in your hand, you can see it a bit more easily. And it's, you know, not the biggest complaint, but it is weird. I wish they would fix that. You know, I hope in the future, like, this isn't a recurring thing, because it is kind of strange. But obviously Sonic and Tails are only a part of the characters you get here, because you also get a brick-built Buzz Bomber. No notes. It's good. You know, as far as Buzz Bombers can go, as far as brick-built Badniks can go at the price point they're selling this at, I really don't think you can do much better. The one thing I guess I could say is kind of a detractor, but also not really, is the little animals. So Lego's been trying to do this thing where they incorporate the fact that Eggman's Badniks have animals in them that are powering the machinery. So they stuck a little Clucky, little chicken, in the Buzz Bomber's gun barrel. I mean, I guess that works. It's not the worst thing. You could do worse, but you can also do better. You know, I appreciate the attempt, but this looks very silly. The only reason I'm not, you know, obviously though, it should be mentioned that this is completely optional. Like you can just set the chicken off to the side and it's no problem. In fact, I believe the box, like some promotional images, show the Clucky just on the side and the Buzz Bomber being completely separate. So they know that it's a completely optional thing. But I would say though that if you're going to do this, if you're going to incorporate this, I think you need to do it better than what we're seeing here. I feel like some way to get it into the back would be preferable. I don't know how realistic that is, but that is just how I feel about it. Like we can do better than this. We can get the little animal buddies into the Badniks better than this. I don't know. But even so, All of these characters, these little character figures, are great. There's very little to complain about here. And with that, let's move on though to the actual things you're building. The more proper like parts for this set, you should say. So we'll start with what I think is the highlight though is the tornado. I spent a bit of time trying to figure out what version of the tornado they're basing this off of, because there's been multiple different designs for this one. And I'm not even talking about the blue versus red, because yeah, obviously that's a thing, but you have the Sonic 2 tornado versus the Sonic Advance tornado versus the initial Sonic Adventure tornado versus the Sonic 4 Episode 2 tornado. Like, there's been a few versions of this guy, and they're all pretty similar. As far as I can tell, this is pretty much just an evergreen look. It's not one specific version of the tornado, it's just a tornado. You know, I think that in some ways it's mostly a sort of Sonic 2 look, but it does have the symbols the tail symbols that are more reminiscent of what Advance was doing. Still, honestly, this is a great little tornado. I don't really have a crazy amount to say. It's a very easy, fun build, as I was saying earlier, had no problems. Really smart job, by the way, also to leave 2 studs open at the top so Sonic can stand on top of the plane while Tails is in the pilot seats. In fact, actually, speaking of that though, that is my problem really, is the pilot seat, because Tails can't see anything when he's sat down in the plane. You know, the seat doesn't go far down enough, so he's just looking at the top wing of the plane. He can't see. He's not far down deep enough. So a little whoopsie there. I don't know, but it's fine enough. Actually, now that I think about it, I want to do this live here. I've never tried sitting Sonic down in the plane. I'm gonna try this right now, just to make sure if he can. Yes, he can. Sonic can sit down in the tornado. He has the exact same problem as Tails, but hey, c'est la vie. I guess I wasn't expecting that problem to change. But yeah, the tornado, honestly, there's not a whole lot I can really say, because like what you see is what you get. It has a working propeller, which is super nice. You know, it's got rubber tires, so it can roll pretty well. There's no back tire, unfortunately, but they did smooth out the bottom half that had these little smooth parts underneath, so it will still roll without a hitch. You know, no problems there. The part of the set that makes me a little bit more, I don't want to say annoyed, I don't even want to say concerned, but it makes me a bit mixed, I guess is the best way, is the actual workshop itself. Okay, I rambled for a bit about the workshop. I rambled quite a bit there for about an extended like 5 minutes or so trying to get my point across. So I'm going to keep it very much more concise here. I think the workshop is pretty good. I like the shape of it. I like the way you can sort of condense it down, you know, which is good, especially if you want to do, like, you want to store it somewhere. That's cool. I like the little chair Sonic has that he can sit on. I like the little toolkits. I like how you can open up one of the toolkits and you can take stuff out, all the little monitors. It's a great looking set. Here's the thing. With all of this combined, you know, with all of this stuff combined, is this set worth $50? That is where my struggle is here, because I think if we split this into a section here, and if we go like, let's say hypothetically, you know, Tails, Sonic, the Buzz Bomber, and the Tornado were released for like $30. Let's say that, 30 Canadian dollars. Let's say they released like that. I think that these guys would sell, that would be a good deal. I think that's a fair deal for these guys. The thing I'm struggling with is whether or not the workshop itself is really worth the cost of admission. You know, when put all together, I mean. Because obviously, you know, I think the initial stuff I was talking about is really good. I think it's great stuff, and I would recommend it to anybody, but I don't know about the workshop. I think the workshop is okay, but it feels super small, and, you know, while it looks super nice, it's not really wowing me in the way this is. You know, I look at, and to give comparison, I look at something like the Master Emerald Shrine with Amy, Knuckles, and the Egg Robo, and I look at everything they did there. Obviously take this with a grain of salt because I don't have that set, at least not at this time, not at the time of recording, so who knows how I would feel about it if I did have it, but I compare what they have in that full set to that, and I compare it to what's here, and I don't know, on one hand, you know, the Master Emerald Shrine doesn't come with the Master Emeralds, and you have to essentially buy the Knuckles mech to get it, which is scummy, not cool Lego, but also I think the shrine itself is just, it looks a lot better, you know, put together than the workshop. I think that Egg Robo is a much more interesting build, obviously, and a much more clever build than the Buzz Bomber. Granted, the Buzz Bomber is a much more simpler design, so maybe that's unfair, but even like in terms of the details, in terms of what you get, I feel like on some level that feels more justified to me in my head, at least right now. And I don't know if I can say that the workshop really feels like it's worth it. I think in terms of, you know, piece count, in terms of how many Lego bricks itself you're getting for the full set, I think absolutely, yeah, you're getting your money's worth. But in terms of, like, you know, the end result, what you're getting out of it, like, the workshop's fine, but I feel like you could have taken that out, like, cut $20 off the price tag, and this set would be way better. Like, honestly, just a Tornado would be better. Just a Tornado, Sonic, and the Tails and the Buzz Bomber would be a better set. I think the workshop kind of brings this down. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave me in terms of what I think? Ultimately, if you're cool with the workshop, if you're okay with the workshop as it is, because again, it's not bad, I just don't think it's good enough for what it is. I could say I could recommend this wholeheartedly. Like, I do think it's a good Lego set, and especially for, you know, your kids who are fans of Sonic, like, they would have a lot of fun with this. I do think, though, that ultimately you should probably try and get it on sale. I just don't think $50 is the right price tag for this. I think $40 is more reasonable for what you're getting here. Maybe I'm being unfair. Honestly, throughout all this, I feel like I'm kind of talking myself out of the workshop being bad. I'm kind of looking at it and I'm going, oh, well, you know, it does have this benefit. But ultimately, I think I'm going to stick with what my gut feeling was just that, yes, it's not, it is good, but I don't think it's good enough. I would say if you're, you know, if you're on the fence right now, go for a price drop. But if you're someone who's like, man, I really do want that, that looks really cool, get it. Just go for it. You will enjoy this. For everybody else, wait to maybe try and get it on sale when you can. But that's all I've got to say here. But I do want to bring something up. So like I said, hopefully at the beginning, because I've kind of rambled so much I've forgotten what I said at the beginning. But if I didn't say it, let me reiterate it. You know, the casual reviews I've been making have mostly been for varying video games, or to talk about games that are coming up. Obviously, you know, most of the games I've been talking about were fan games, because that was just what was on my mind and I wanted to talk about them. And they've been for Marvel Rivals, because I was lucky enough to play it in its closed early access form So I wanted to share that with people because I thought it would be interesting to do so and to give people an idea on how the game plays. And all of my edited stuff was then for toys and action figures, what have you. I want to be clear here. You know, casual reviews were not meant to be just for video games, and the edited reviews are not meant to be just for action figures and the like. It's just so happened to be that way because when it came to the stuff I was talking about, it was simply easier to get my thoughts out, you know, with casual reviews or with edited stuff. It all just depends on what I'm reviewing. So, you know, for video game stuff in the future, you might see more edited stuff. For toys, you might see them show up more here. In fact, I will say you're probably gonna see a lot of like action figure stuff start showing up in casual review format because I have a lot of stuff. I got a whole pile of stuff in the corner of my room. Maybe I'll take a picture of it, maybe I won't. I don't know yet, but if I do, you'll see it right here. That is my pile of stuff that I gotta get through. And for some of this, you know, for some of the stuff that's there, simply put, it's a lot easier for me to get my point across in this format than it is in an edited format. You know, where I'm scripting everything and I gotta edit everything together. This is just a little bit easier for me. And I do hope, like, you know, you guys, you know, enjoy this stuff as well. I hope this is an enjoyable version of things for you. It doesn't sound like a rambly mess. Oh boy. Oh, this is a rambly one because this is the first time I've done it with a toy set. I'm not used to it. Oh man. Hopefully it's less scuffed next time, right? Hey. But yeah. So just in case you were worried, no, the edited toy reviews aren't going anywhere. Casual reviews on video games aren't going anywhere. But you are going to see it mixed and matched. I'm going to be talking about a variety of stuff, or a variety of things in this format. You know, I'll talk about stuff that isn't even toys or video games yet. The only reason you haven't seen them yet is because I haven't found something I want to talk about just yet, or I'm waiting for certain things to come out or sort of have a sort of finish before I start talking about them. So keep an eye out, you might start seeing those more in the future. But that's all I've got to say. That's everything I want to tell you. I do also want to say, the past few videos I've had have kind of blown up a little bit. You know, obviously I was a bit nervous starting the edited stuff because I was doing the casual videos pretty much solely when I really started doing YouTube. And I wasn't sure if those edited reviews would do well, but seeing the response to them, like the kind of, you know, how many people have watched them, especially seeing the Marvel Legends reviews for Wolverine and Venom and Superior Spider-Man, seeing those sort of just explode the way they did. The Venom Spider-Man one especially was way more popular than I thought it was going to be. It was a great thing to see, and I really do, you know, even if you're subscribed or not subscribed, I do really appreciate all those people who came by and decided to listen to me talk about that stuff. So I do want to say right now, thank you for that, and thank you to the people who have subscribed and are sticking around and watching what I do and are interested in what I want to say, even if it is kind of a mess like this video is. Oh man, I okay, I'm really starting to lose it now. I'm really starting to lose it now. So I'm gonna leave you guys now. I'm gonna let this video end off. So all right, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.